number one then, and number one now.
You're listening to Heffron and Reep. Heffron and Reep. Rated number one podcast by the World Podcasting Federation and the Podcast Ranking Association. No, for real. It says it right here.
Live from your headphones, it's Heffron and Reep.
You enjoy the Heffron and Reep podcast. Now go and see them live. It's really super awesome. And here's the reason why. You've seen them on TV and even in the movies. Yeah, they really are so good. They can even afford this song. Check out the tour dates at heffronandreep.com.
Okay, yes, we have a great show lined up, but first let's plug some tour dates because, hey, you need to see us live. It's good stuff. So I will be in Denver, John Heffron, January 9 through 12 at the Comedy Works South. I know you're going there, too.
Yes.
And then I'll also be in Dallas at Hyenas the 17th through the 19th. First time at that club. Love the people who run it. And then in Jacksonville, Florida, the 24th through the 26th at the Comedy Zone. Please do not throw a martini in my face.
Right.
And then in February, I will be at Side Splitters in Tampa the 7th through the 10th. And then these next two are very special because I'm going back to my old stomping grounds, my neck of the woods in North Carolina. The 15th of February, I will be in Holly Springs, North Carolina at the Holly Springs Cultural Center. And then the next day on the 16th, I'll be in Newton, North Carolina at the Newton Conover Auditorium. That is right next to Hickory, so I'm looking forward to that one.
Nice. And when I'm in North Carolina, you're going to have to help me plug some of my dates so people show up.
I'll see.
Because I'm there in February also. We should look and see if we're in the same area.
Oh, nice.
But let's talk about what's going on right now. January 10th through the 13th, I, John Heffron, will be at the Chicago Improv, which is actually in Schaumburg, Illinois. Mm-hmm. January 17th through the 20th, I will be in Columbus at the Columbus Funny Bone.
Great club.
One of my favorite clubs. And by the way, we have a lot of listeners in the Columbus area.
Nice.
So I just want to tell you, Columbus. If you're listening to this and you're from Columbus, I will be there the 17th through the 20th.
Since we have so many listeners, that maybe we should say if you
we need a secret handshake.
Leave a voicemail.
If you go to heffronandreep.com and you live in the Columbus area, beg for tickets.
Yeah.
Just go to heffronandreep.com, click on the thing, say I'm from Columbus, and beg for tickets and leave your email address. Nobody hears those messages but us.
Right.
We probably play them on the podcast, but we'll cut out any personal information.
Exactly.
January 24th to the 26th, I will be in Erie, Pennsylvania. I'm not bragging. I'm going to be in Erie, Pennsylvania, 24th through the 26th. I actually recorded one of my CDs at Erie.
Nice.
Randomly. Yeah. And then February 2nd, I will be at Charlotte, North Carolina, at the Night Theater.
You're going to love that. I've not been there. I don't even know.
I'm doing a bunch of stuff there. But anyway, so those are all the dates coming up. And then I have a date in Toledo, Ohio in February 14th through the 17th. I know we threw a lot of information your way. You can always go to heffronandreep.com and check on live shows.
Go to heffronandreep.com for tour dates and great links. Hey, did you get that? It's heffronandreep.com. Go there now.
Hey, everybody. Thanks for listening again to another awesome episode of the Heffron and Reep Show. I'm the Reep part, and over here is John Heffron. We're going to play a little trivia game, and we have a guest who's a professional host. Yes, we're stepping up, and he's going to host our trivia game. And he's also my neighbor. Jordan Murphy's here, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, they're going wild. He actually took 18 steps to get here across the courtyard, and he's going to host our little trivia game. So let's hear that trivia music.
It's the Heffron and Reep Show trivia game. Yeah, the Heffron and Reep Show trivia game. They decided the stories they had were kind of lame. Yeah, the stories they had were kind of lame. So sit back and guess the answers with each of the Johns. You can get more smarter with you get your learning on. It's the Heffron and Reep Show trivia game. Yeah, the Heffron and Reep Show trivia game.
It's the Heffron and Reep game time. Whoa, it's the Heffron and Reep game time.
Yeah. By the the way, people loving this trivia thing. I know it seems trivial, us playing the trivial game, but I've gotten some response going, people, this is stuff people actually like to play.
More trivia, please.
And you feel more smarter after you hear this. Because what happens is you hear how dumb me and John are.
Right.
And then it makes you feel better about yourself, and that's actually why we're doing it.
You're welcome.
Yes. Other podcasts want to impress you with their knowledge.
Yeah.
That's one way of showing how smart you are. Or I can build you up, and then that's actually less work on my part. Because I have to be less smarter, making you feel and letting you know that you're smart.
Because we care more about our listeners
That's right,
than how
John.
we look.
That's right, John Reep.
Yeah. Okay, Jordan.
I feel smarter already.
Now,
I feel more smarter.
We're going to do our normal trivia, but how do you want to do this? Do you just want to ask a question and first person to chime in? Sometimes we get a little long, and it takes 20 minutes.
Who gets long?
Well, both of us do.
Okay, well, why don't we do this?
So should we have a minute each thing?
A minute each question?
Yeah.
If you don't get it within the minute, it's dead.
Yeah.
Okay, because the way it works, obviously, is I'm asking a question, and it starts with a broad kind of description of what the answer is, and it moves to something easier. If you don't get it by the time it gets to easier, you're dumb.
So we're just going to just free for all, just shout out the answer.
Yeah, just shout it out. Whoever gets it right, bing, move on. Now, who's keeping score?
We kind of will.
Scorekeeping?
Yeah, I'll when I get it right.
We need to invest in a bell. We need a bell.
All right.
No, but then
Ding.
next time.
You could probably put it in.
Okay.
Yeah.
We'll probably put it in.
Post.
Edit.
Put it in post.
All right. Now, want me to hit start?
So is it a minute each card, or is it a minute each?
Man, we need to do some show prep every once in a while.
You think?
We make this up every time we come on.
Why don't we just know that we need to move it along and not spend a lot of time, and don't even worry about looking at that clock. We'll just try.
It's going to move. You guys are going to get these answers.
He's a professional.
Let's move
I'm
on.
not worried.
He'll move it along.
Let's move. Shall we? All right, gentlemen, are we ready?
I'm ready.
John?
Okay.
John?
Okay.
John?
Yes.
John, are
John.
you ready?
I'm ready.
I'm ready. Okay, good.
Over? Done. What am I? I am a domestic bird. I am raised for meat and eggs. Water rolls off my back feathers.
Penguin.
I waddle on land.
Duck.
Bing, ding, ding, John.
Woo! Eat it, Heffron.
You have to say Hickory. I have to say Detroit.
Okay.
Just in case they haven't figured out who we are yet.
Oh yeah, Hickory 1, Detroit 0.
No, you have to yell Reap
When do I yell that though?
when you have the answer.
Oh, so I can't just yell it out?
You have to yell Reap and then the thing.
so
just so people listening will know.
Okay, fine.
Who's talking?
Fine. Got
It's
it.
like
In
Jeopardy.
case they don't
There's
know,
no penalty for getting it
I'm the
wrong,
nasally guy.
Okay, fine.
Or is there a penalty for
No.
getting it? Okay.
Okay,
I'm
so,
sorry.
Let's go.
Okay, here we go.
1 for Reap.
Yes.
Yes.
1 for Reap.
Okay.
0 for Heffron. 0 for Heffron.
0,
Okay.
buddy.
Ready?
Yes.
Where am I? I am a famous location in North America. We already know this answer. Moving on.
Times Square.
New York City.
Heffron, Times Square.
Is that right?
That's right.
Oh, did you see the card?
That's the one I read to him.
That's
as
what
a-
we did before we started. Here we go. The 0 Heffron, 1 Reap.
Okay, you don't got to rub it in.
What am I?
All right.
What am I? I'm a specific head hat turned backwards on Heffron. He's ready to play.
Okay.
Yeah.
What am I? I am a specific make and model of car.
Chevy.
Say again?
Oh, I said Chevy.
Incorrect. I was especially popular in the 60s, not the 1860s. I became
Heffron,
I said Reap first.
you just randomly guessing. This should be penalized
But I did say
for
Reap.
randomly saying stuff.
Well, we both know it's not a Chevy.
Okay. Reap.
Ford Mustang.
Incorrect.
Okay.
Heffron?
I pass.
I became the world's best-selling automobile. More than 21 million of me were produced. My shape is distinctive. Ferdinand Porsche was instrumental. Heffron.
Porsche.
Incorrect. I was produced
Ferdinand
mainly.
Porsche.
Yeah. I was produced mainly in Wolfsburg, Germany. My make means the people's car. Reap.
Oh, Heffron.
Heffron.
I said Reap already.
Go.
Do you know it?
Didn't answer it.
I'm gonna
W.
Not correct.
No, here we go. Heffron.
Heffron.
That would be the Volkswagen Beetle.
That is correct. It's only been 20 minutes. We have 1-1 game.
All right. How long are we going, John, by the way? Is this a tiebreaker?
Tiebreaker right here.
Tiebreaker right here. Tiebreaker right here, ladies and gentlemen.
Roll the marbles.
What am I?
Abraham Heffron. Abraham Lincoln.
Incorrect. That's a what, not a who.
Oh.
What?
Reap. Abraham Lincoln's hat.
Okay.
Abraham Lincoln's beard. What am I? I am an animal and a food. I can be eaten raw.
Reap.
Reap.
Sushi.
Incorrect. Some like me fried. I live in the sea. I never move far. Some say I have qualities besides nutritional. I am a bivalve.
Reap.
Heffron.
Reap.
Heffron.
Reap.
You're an octopus.
No, you're not.
Heffron, you're a snail.
No, you're not. I am. I am often served with lemon and Tabasco sauce.
Reap. Calamari?
Nope. Sometimes I provide a gem as well as food.
Oyster.
Oyster is correct with 1.
Wow.
2
Yes.
to 1. A win
Yes.
for Mr.
I want to say, I
Reap.
want to give a shout out to North Carolina State University. I got a 4-year degree in 6 years, and it paid off today.
Wow.
2-1, buddy.
Long-term plan.
Hickory wins.
Heffron and Reep. Subject change.
Okay, this is John Reep, and I just finished the podcast with Heffron and Jordan, and I gotta tell you, I'm winded. I can barely breathe. My sides are hurting. And if you want to know what it's like to see two guys with severe attention deficit disorder, ADD, you're gonna love this podcast. It is an explosion of just tangents. And you're going to love it. Just stay tuned.
Listen, we're going to have to figure out some ways to quantify who yells Heffron or Reep quickest.
I beat you most of the time. Reap is easier to say quicker than Heffron. That's 2 syllables against 1.
No, we should do it right here. I just thought of this. I'm going to do an audible.
Okay.
Ready?
What is this?
Here's what you do. You're going to read this card. You're not going to give us the answer.
No.
And now here's how my brain works, Reep.
Here's how mine's working. You're a sore loser.
Here's how my brain's working. We're going to give a gift. Why not let the listeners play? He's going to read the questions. And if people go to heffronandreep.com, click on the little microphone button, say what they think it is, and leave their email. If you get the correct answer, out of everybody who gets the correct answer, we're going to email you some type of prize.
I like it.
Right?
No, so we're not going to guess this time. We're just going to let Jordan read the question.
Yeah, and you're going to read down to question 5, just real quick.
Okay.
Like don't go the whole way. Let's make it a little bit difficult for him. So just go one, hardest to the 5th.
This is for the listeners.
This is for listeners. You guys figure this out. Here we go.
All right, here we go. What am I? What am I? I am found in the bathroom.
No clue.
One of my first types contained the tallow of goats.
Whoa.
I love that band, Tallow of Goats. Have you seen them? That would be a great band name. We should manage bands.
I did Ecstasy was at Tallow.
Oh, yeah, that was awesome. Tallow of Goats was... Or was it a festival? Tallow of Goats
I
sounds...
blacked out.
Yeah, that was good.
Okay.
All right.
I come in many colors and varieties.
That's what she said.
Each type of me has the same function. I can have a distinctive scent. This sounds filthy.
Is that 5?
That's 5.
That's 5. So if you know the answer to any of the stuff we said, if you didn't get them all, just go back and rewind it. And the best way for you to do this right now, until our Heffron and Reep studios are being built as we speak. Yeah. Very nice property we bought overlooking the ocean on a cliff.
Near ILM?
Yeah, it looks really nice. It's a big 600,000 square foot
all windows.
Stables.
It's all windows.
Wow.
Yeah, it's pretty. And then we have this thing on it where if anything happens, we hit a button and actually with rockets we can move location.
You and Tony Stark live there together?
Yeah, it's pretty much that. So think of when you listen to the Heffron and Reep show, I want you to envision in your head that they're literally doing it from a Tony Stark type bunker.
Yeah. I got that.
God, that'd be nice.
It feels like that almost.
Yeah, it feels like
Yeah,
that.
it kind of does. Except our view is more of a gutter that we have in the back.
Yeah.
which is sometimes riverfront property.
You're messing with the illusion.
Yeah.
Don't mess with the illusion.
And all honestly, while we're doing the podcast, it's me looking out a window, seeing if my car is going to be towed. But just go with the Tony Stark thing. So if you know the answer, go to heffronandreep.com, click on the...
Send us a voicemail.
Yeah, leave a voicemail. Say what you think it is. Say your name. And then give your email. If we play you on a podcast, we're not going to play your email.
Yeah, we won't,
but we just need a way to get a hold of you till our studios.
Click on the microphone to answer it, right?
Yes.
Yeah, click on the microphone,
Okay.
and then a thing comes up. You don't even need, you need a mic in your computer.
Okay.
Right.
We would say email, but okay, already
Okay.
I've
They get
muddied it up.
They're smart.
Right, let's
Well,
not be.
I'm sure some people are wondering who's that other guy.
Yeah.
Who's that? I think
So
I
there
already,
you
did I introduce you?
Who's that voice?
Let's go ahead and do that. Ladies and gentlemen, sitting here with us today on the Heffron and Reep show is not only my neighbor, but you may have seen this guy. Lots of commercials, lots
Right.
of TV appearances.
Yep.
But would you say your biggest thing that people might recognize you from would be Tool Academy?
I would say probably VH1's Tool Academy and
Yes.
NBC's For Love or Money are the ones that people go, oh, that guy. I know
For
that
Love or
guy.
Money.
Yeah.
Okay,
And
yeah.
oftentimes it's actually, bizarrely enough, my voice that they actually recognize, not my face.
I recognize you from that commercial that you're on all the
Salon
time.
Oh,
Right
my
now.
God, they're playing the butt out of that
The
thing.
Salon Posse.
Yeah, they're playing the poop out
Has
of
that
it.
gone over 13 weeks? I think it has.
It's gone on and on and on and on.
Nice.
Yeah.
I did see another dude do a salon pause. I thought,
Last season. That was last year.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
Oh,
Well,
okay.
let me clarify. They shot, I think, 3 different spots for different products of Salon Paws.
I see.
Yes, there's evidently like a mousse kind of thing that you
Yeah.
put in your hair. No, I'm kidding. There's something.
No, that's not the commercial I
deodorant.
see you on.
No, mine's the patch. Mine's the patch you put on your back.
You're sitting at a kitchen table.
Yeah. That's
Okay.
the patch on the back.
Yeah. Yeah, I was like on the road somewhere and I was, watching TV and then.
Have you seen the
there's
dick
my
drug?
neighbor.
Have you seen the dick drug commercial?
No.
Oh, you haven't seen that?
You're in that too?
Well,
Which one?
it's an
Is it-
infomercial.
Yeah.
Oh, wait.
Yeah.
Middle of the night because you guys travel all the time.
I see it
Like
did.
10
all the
o'clock in the
time.
morning, you're like, wait a minute, what's he doing? Hawking,
did see that
Hawking
one.
cock drugs.
Now, wasn't
What
there,
what
like,
kind of?
Am I allowed to say that? Am I allowed to say
No,
that?
No, you're allowed to say.
But is that the one where there's like a couple of hot chicks with cleavage? Is that?
Oh my God, that's so funny. You saw that one too. I thought that was off the air. No, that's one of those ones you go, okay, they're going to pay me a buttload of money. It'll
Yeah.
probably never run, and it
thought
was
that's
not
when
for
you-
sex. It was not for sex. No,
Oh.
that one was about Shortcut to Millions or some schemey.
Maybe I'm
thingy.
getting the two mixed up.
They're easily mix upable
Okay.
because they're like basically I did it in a green screen in a studio here in Los Angeles,
Yeah.
and no big boobs were in the set at all. Unfortunately, there were not. It was just me.
Oh, that's no fun.
Yeah, just me, straight to camera, green screen. And now the thing is, then they cut in the Miss Boobs a Lot twins. It's because obviously, the audience, they're guys sitting up in the middle of the
2 in
night,
the
and
morning.
you're like, click, 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 boobs,
Yeah,
stop.
exactly.
And that's what they do. They stop and they watch it. They're not looking at me. And then they stop for the boobs, and then they catch them with, what are they talking about? Oh, that guy's telling me how to do this thing.
What's the penis one?
The penis one is called Trivarex, and it's like a triple action, how to get your,
Is that
boner on.
a real like?
It's a real drug.
Stuff works.
It's
approved.
No, it's herbal.
I don't want to say
Herbal, that's what I
technically
meant to
it's
say.
FDA. Yeah, I don't want to get anybody into trouble.
Right.
It was highly legal, documented words. I had to go in and like change A's to butts and things like that in post.
Wow.
Yeah, because of the legal aspects of it. But I just basically said, obviously, I'm a whore, so I work for just about for
Same
anything.
here, buddy.
I'm a whore, and they're like, okay, listen, can I just not talk about my inability to get it up and talk about others' inability to get it up? And so if you see it, it's me with a really hot co-host and then this sex therapist and a doctor who created the product. And we're doing kind of a broadcast
Yes.
news.
And he basically runs. I mean, he talks a lot.
He
right?
talks a lot.
Yeah.
And we're kind of talking like, well, how does it work?
You're like
What does it
asking
mean?
questions
Yeah.
and stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah,
kind of a
I've
John
seen that
Stewart with, talking it through and like, well, I don't understand. What do you mean? It helps my blood flow.
Now, when you booked that, was that an audition or is it
Oh, yeah.
like they? Okay.
Yeah. They said, Jordan, do you have a problem? No. I went in for an audition just like I would any other day. And
Because I know commercial auditions. I don't know infomercial. I mean, that
same
seems
kind of
like
thing.
a whole nother thing.
Same kind of thing. I mean, I have an agent who does both.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
specifically, there's a realm for infomercials that I do as well.
I have a plan when I was on Bert Kreischer's podcast. we brought this up, but it was my idea, and I think it would be a genius move.
Do tell.
Okay, infomercial spots.
Do we need to run the copyright thing right here? Because you have genius ideas all the time.
No. This is very general, but here's just a theory of mine. Okay, infomercial spots aren't as expensive as you think they would be to run. Like at 1:30 in the morning, 2 o'clock in the morning, even earlier than that on Comedy Central, VH1, thing of that. You can buy spots, a half-hour spot for pretty
$10,000.
You mean the airtime?
Airtime.
Right, because not the production value. The production is a whole different, whole other game.
But that's all nothing.
By that time, is it more or less than $10,000?
Way less.
Really?
You could get it for a couple G's, and some of them you can get for $600-700. It depends on the market. Depends. If big city, it's going to cost more.
Why don't we have our own infomercial then?
That's what I was trying to say,
That's where he's
dude.
going.
What I'm trying to think is we even.
That was my idea.
Yeah, you just took it. Yeah, he just goes, yeah, you know what we should have is totally infomercial. Yeah, you just totally stole my idea.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Like literally just.
Sorry.
No, I got it.
Yeah. No, that's what they do when you pitch TV shows, when you're pitching a show. Yeah. Hey, that's a great idea.
Thank you.
But so we either come up with a product.
Right.
Okay. Whatever, maybe like a workout one.
How about the Heffron and Reep show?
Or you ever see like those Sports Center talk radio shows that are just the TV show of just them on the radio, like Mike and Mike?
Yes.
We shoot the Heffron and Reep show, get some guests, have it green screen it, and just have us be funny and sell nothing.
Okay.
And you play that markets of us where we're going to perform.
Oh, so it's a joke infomercial, but it's a promo infomercial. It's a promo for your
Yeah, but you make fun of. But you make
fun of the infomercials
that would be on at the same time.
Yeah.
Oh, that's funny. And then did we just have our website at the bottom the whole time?
Or something.
Yeah.
Or we get. Okay, so it's us doing a podcast, being entertaining as always,
right? And
we find one sponsor, and we just like ESPN.
Yeah.
You have whatever.com underneath
funny,
it.
Fake little crawl.
Yeah, and then we sell the crawl.
Salon
so
Plus.
throughout the whole for 30 minutes, there'll be just random crawls from people.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right, so
why would that not work?
It would work. Why
and we
not?
could have Twitter feeds, and we could sell the Twitter feeds.
And you drive them to your website,
That's an interesting thing. So you could say, like, okay, if you want to be a part of our infomercial, you send us $5, and on the crawl, we'll just put your name, your Twitter handle at the bottom.
I'm thinking maybe more like $100.
Okay.
No,
sure.
No, but you have that, and then you have that.
Well, it depends on
going.
If it's $5,
but do we need something to sell?
It's really tiny, and if it's $100, the font's really big.
That's awesome.
The font changes.
Font size by dollar.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Or do you get a bunch of comics together and then you sell their stuff in one big thing?
I don't know.
There's something here though.
Big conversation.
I think you could buy your way into becoming. People showing up to see you. Look at the ShamWow guy.
There you go.
Do it.
ShamWow guy, man. That's a guy's.
He's a comic.
Character.
Do you know him?
Did he get busted?
He got busted.
He bit a hooker's tongue.
Yeah,
that'll do it.
As you should.
But if she, I would say, didn't she ask? Maybe she asked for it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not sure how that went down.
He got busted. Yeah,
but
I don't know him. No, I don't know him.
There's something there.
Did you hear that?
All infomercial guys just hang out.
Don't you know him?
Yeah,
yeah,
exactly. Well, I think the same thing in comedians.
Yeah,
I go anywhere and I meet a comedian. I'm like, oh, you guys know John Reep, John Heffron? You know?
Yeah.
You know?
I like when you're somewhere and they go, do you know my cousin is a comic? He does spots at the Choco laundry machine in Los Angeles. No, I don't know.
Don't know that guy.
You don't, and you know.
Tell him to keep it up.
Yeah.
Do you want to call him? What would I want to?
Yeah. Leave him a voicemail.
No.
He likes you. Okay. Buy my DVD. Don't steal anything.
Okay.
So we got to think of an infomercial.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Kreischer said
Write
he's
that
on
down.
board. I say we get like 5 or 6. I say we get
my
5 or
idea.
6 comics, and we somehow maybe just sit there.
So it's a half-hour long thing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you don't need girls. Once if we just sat in chairs and you had girls just dancing. Here's what we do. Ready?
Really something avant-garde, though, where it's just me and you, and we're just staring at the camera for 30 minutes straight. We don't say one word.
People would watch it.
And then cut in girls with boobs and then go back.
Yeah.
But not a lot of boobs.
No,
just enough to keep them.
So, like,
What about
what's gonna
this?
happen
When's
next?
next boob?
Like, they can't literally stare at me for a half an hour.
Do you ever watch The
Something's
Grind?
going to happen.
You ever watch The Grind at MTV?
Oh, MTV? That's not on anymore, is it?
No, but the old school
Yeah.
dance.
Yeah, I don't currently watch The Grind, but yes, I used to.
Okay, here's what we do.
Okay.
We have a club setting, and you see just people dancing.
Right.
So people are going to stop if you see a girl shaking their thing.
Right.
And then the camera will pan, and there'll be a booth, and it's me and you and other comics and friends. Will probably be the too old to be there guys.
Yeah.
So we're just the old guys that are 35 plus in the corner of this bar having conversations while this bar is going on. So they'll come to us, they'll talk, we'll talk, and then it'll pan away, and we'll see some dancing for a little bit.
I like it.
I don't know how we're going to get rights to any of this music, but let's not squash our creativity at the moment.
No,
Just
say
kind of
yes.
go, just say yes to all this,
Yeah.
and they come back to us, and we just show
And
that.
it's all green screen doable as well. You don't even have to have anybody physically.
Oh, he's genius right here. Look at our consultant.
No, but I mean seriously, it's all. Yeah, I mean, I just did a show where it was two of us in front of a bar background, and we were not at a bar.
Oh, really?
We just had two stools,
Yeah.
and we had a bar image behind us.
Nice.
So you can buy. You can number one, you can shoot that content.
Yep.
Right by
Yep.
yourselves. Shoot the content, and then you use it as green screen.
Nice.
So then you can control it.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
You're not going to shoot there every frickin' time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
How much would you spend,
like
John
that
Reep,
idea.
to go for, let's say, imagine, what would you say if I told you I have a way for you to get on
Well, the way you're
national
talking about it,
television?
I'm like, here's my wallet. Just take it.
Would you $5,000?
How much would you pay?
Yeah. $5,000 if you can be in some markets close to where you're going. Would you willing to take that gamble? Because 2013 for me is to get crazy. I'm not sitting back waiting for shit to fall, waiting for my managers to call and my agents to deal with I'm taking chances.
You're creating your future.
I'm taking chances.
Yeah.
Some of them might be so crazy they work.
You're grabbing life by the horns, brother.
That's exactly what I'm doing, man. It's a Hulkamania.
Brought to you by Judge.
Hulkamania.
I'm experiencing some Hulk. I'm experiencing Beaver fever.
Wait, that was Macho Man. Yes. Well, I would spend.
And here's why I'm starting.
I'd like to figure out what the return would be. Like, how do we?
I don't know
find
how
out?
there be.
Well, that's the question: is are you selling you two, or are you selling ad time to other?
I think
comedians?
we're selling.
Well, you sell all times to
Heffron and Reep.
another company.
Oh, okay.
I think you could.
Period.
I think having a scroll
Sure.
underneath for no
Why not?
reason at all.
Yeah,
Why
it's
not?
funny.
If you're willing to spend, if you guys are willing to upfront spend just the airtime, shoot the actual video of
If you have a
it.
company, you want to be a part of this, you let us know.
Yeah, because we'll do this.
Yeah.
This is easy.
It is easy. Right down the
No
street.
one else has done this yet.
Right down the street, you shoot it.
Byron, you know who does? Byron Allen,
Yeah.
Comics Unleashed.
Right.
All those shows for you listening at 1:00 in the morning when it's that guy on the couch and he'll turn to John Reep and go, "So I heard you hate spiders," and then you have to do a bit about spiders.
Byron Allen.
So all those shows.
Detroit, right? He hates spiders.
Yeah. He's
Tuesday.
So I
That's weird.
heard you spilled ice cream a year ago. Yeah, I spilled ice cream. But those are infomercials.
Mm-hmm.
Those are infomercials where it doesn't say infomercials, but he buys that time spot.
Right.
Provides
Produces a
programming, and then the commercials you see within, let's say, Comic Unleashed, he makes money from all those commercials because he
He's a
owns that
genius.
half hour. He's got that. He's got that comedy.tv, and then he has
An episode of the comedy.tv one.
he bought that,
Yeah.
and he paid everybody nothing for the most part, and then they play that, and then he also has a sitcom coming out, 100 episodes,
The only good thing about that,
100% market saturation. His sitcom will be in every market that there's television because he bought it
smart. He's kind of a genius, really.
at 1:30.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we have to figure out something.
Late night. Early
Sleep
morning.
night.
Yeah.
And why can't we? Let's say we do our podcast, and we'll take the sets of every other infomercial that would be out at the time we're talking. So we have like some blender thing
You're in a
with
kitchen.
all these fruits,
Just in a kitchen.
and we never mention.
Yes,
we'll
I love
never mention the blender or the fruit. So people will stop and go, "When are they going to show us how
That
this
would
thing
be
works?"
hilarious to go from one set to another set.
yes,
That would be
it's long.
hilarious. If you could, that would be hilarious.
Rent like a studio and just
You're
have
like in
all
a
these
gym
sets right next
suddenly
to each other.
for no reason.
One minute you're gonna shake weight in your hand,
Yeah.
and the next minute you're blending something in a ninja.
Yeah, or we have all these shirts and stuff with a lot of stains,
Yeah.
and you're just holding them talking,
And
we'll just-
vacuum,
and we'll
some
start
space bags.
but we never talk about what we're doing.
I love that, dude.
That's funny.
How much is that gonna cost?
That's a fortune right there. I mean,
Yeah,
the
it's
production value,
fortune, yeah.
unless
don't
you
know.
rip it, unless you rip the backdrop,
But if we got a
get in trouble.
sponsor,
That's
if
a
we
green
can find
screen thing.
somebody.
Exactly. If you could rip the image and just stick it up behind you and then have a vacuum in your hand or
Remember
have a
those
blender,
old-
physically just a
All you need
blender.
is a space.
Whether or not you're going to get busted for taking, you wouldn't want to show their product, but it would be the random background.
Yeah.
Gym, kitchen, hospital, you know what I mean? Random background.
We're like the before. They always show the infomercial of like when they have to vacuum all the shit that's on the floor.
Right.
We're like the guys who make the shit on the floor.
Right. Right.
We're like the before.
Yes.
But yeah, we never. So
Yeah.
remember the video? I think it was David Lee Ross. Just like living in paradise.
Yes. Yeah.
Or just a gigolo.
Just a jiggle.
And what he did in that video is he went from video to video of people who are popular at the time.
Yes, I remember
so he
that.
walks into and Cyndi Lauper is trying to shoot one, and then it's him. And then he walked in. I think it was a Michael Jackson guy. We do the same thing,
But with
so you see two guys looking at each other with really bad eye line, going, "So you mean to tell me with no money down, I can purchase homes?" That's right. I know it sounds too good to be true. And then we walk through and when we talk.
Right. Okay. We just have to.
Okay, that's just one idea. We'll pitch that. You don't love that.
It's a
I'm all
big
for it.
idea. Big ideas.
Yeah, it's a lot of
like
work.
it.
We got some work to do.
And we find one company that's willing to. I wonder what type of company. Somebody who needs like probably some monthly, and then at the end of it we go buy Cigar Monthly. Cigar Monthly will send you cigars.
That's right. The official sponsor.
Just 5 seconds at the very end.
Yeah, at the very
real
end.
sponsor.
And
Not all the sponsors you thought this was sponsored by.
And then
at the end, I want to hear this one really loud. Available at Walgreens. Just really loud.
Or we'll do a thing where we keep pushing something like, coming up next, he's going to get kicked in the butt. You know how like Extra TV or like all those like Entertainment Tonight Extra?
Oh, yeah, they
all
tease
those
something.
shows do is tease the next thing.
Right, exactly.
They never really say anything. They just keep teasing, and then you watch and go, that's the same video that we saw.
Right.
Or do we plush it? Or do we just plug our podcast?
I don't know.
Or do we plug the podcast?
I just came up with the idea.
The good thing is you
I don't
recorded
have the
this.
answers.
You've recorded this, so
Yeah.
you've got it
Go
documented.
back and listen.
Or do we plug the Podcast Ranking Association or podcast
Yes.
and get a seal?
Yeah.
And it's just part of it. And we have other podcasts on.
I say step one, figure out how much the actual airtime costs.
Right.
Step one.
I'm just
Thank you.
making up numbers.
No, you're just throwing stuff out, and I like that. That's brainstorming. That's a process. So good job, John Heffron. Like I said, I'm the idea man. I come up with the idea.
Yeah, broad
and you
strokes,
guys
broad
chime in.
strokes.
Yeah.
We can have musical guests.
Okay. All right. I think we should
Magicians?
we should talk about Jordan a little bit more, though.
We don't talk to me.
I like the Tool Academy thing. That was one of my favorite shows.
Yeah, that
Because,
was quality programming.
It was an old switcheroo they did, right? You get these
They did.
douchebags who think that they're going to be on a show all about how awesome they are.
It was literally, they thought they were going to be on the Mr. Awesome show.
Yeah, it's awesome.
And yeah, it was in the original title. When I went in to meet with the production company, the 495 Productions also produced and created
Wait, isn't that your
Jersey
buddy?
Shores.
Yeah. We had Joel on, one of the executive producers.
That's his best friend.
He was on.
That's so wild.
That's on. I forgot what episode, but
I think you told me that.
If you go back to, I think it's, although we labeled it wrong, we didn't even mention Joel. I think it's one with Rachel Butera.
Oh, okay.
But Joel gives a lot of insight on that world.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, yeah, they did Jersey Shore, and they,
Yep.
obviously they've done a lot of shows. 495 is a
Big one.
Monster.
No joke. Yeah. So anyway, when I met him, the original title was Douchebag Academy, and they had the pilot shot, and they thought the guy was too young who was hosting it, I guess.
Oh.
And so I
Wow,
saw
wonder
a
who
whole
that
first
guy was.
episode.
Do you
I don't
know
know.
that?
I don't know.
Interesting.
And so I saw like the first.
I ironically auditioned for that, and they said I look too old. I'm not kidding
I think
you.
it was Dunkelman. Dunkelman.
I'm not kidding you. That's what they told me.
You auditioned for what?
Serious?
Douchebag.
You auditioned to host it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You look too old.
That's what they said. Or I sucked. But maybe that's how Joel, my best friend, had to tell me that. You know what I mean?
Wow.
That's
That's
interesting.
information I did not. Rarely do I actually meet guys who didn't get the job I got.
Yeah, I thought I did a good job on that. But then they go, we thought you looked too
Interesting.
tired or
Different
old.
You look too tired or old.
I don't
Tired part in there?
I think so. I think it's, I don't know.
Wow.
Let me ask you this.
Or I mumble and can't pronounce names.
If you have a friend and they're auditioning for something that you're producing, and for whatever reason they don't do a good job,
why is you look too old an acceptable excuse? I mean, if you don't want to hurt their feelings, like, oh, you actually sucked, you mumbled.
Yeah.
But why go like, no, that'll hurt his feelings? Let's just say he looks too old.
I don't know.
I mean, that's also an insult, isn't it? A little bit?
Well, I guess too old, you can kind of get with, okay, they're going for a different specific demographic.
Yeah.
I'm okay with that. Or they were going for a completely different race. I mean, there's been, or even different demographic,
Ethnicity?
geological.
Oh, I see.
Like, I did get a job that I crushed the audition on because they went with a British guy.
Okay.
And I can do a British accent, but if they want like an actual Brit, then there's nothing I can do about that.
Right.
Be more British.
Yeah.
Now, again, I can do the accent if I need to, but they didn't ask. So either way around.
What was the audition like? What did you do? Did you go and just read some copy in front of a camera? Do you remember what you did? Or was it like, did you have to interact with people?
I went, if I remember correctly, sometimes when you're hosting any of those shows, they have you in front of the person casting it, maybe a producer, maybe a little bit deeper than that or a little bit higher up. And then they bring usually somebody from the office. So like you go to 495 and you're like, okay, John, you're going to be here. And then there'll be some, guy who runs the errands for that production company.
Right.
You'll have to interview him as if he's on the show.
And they have to pretend that they're a douchebag when they really don't know what they're doing, and they're doing their best, and they just got yanked in off the floor.
Or you're the 100th, so this guy had to play that he's a contestant, and maybe you're the 50th guy.
Right.
So then he's just like, I'm over this. And then they give you nothing.
Right.
So I think that's...
You got that guy?
I think that's what I did.
He was just tired of being a douchebag that day.
I think that was the audition process.
Wow.
Yeah, if I
Interesting.
remember, it was. I don't remember. I was tired. I was old.
My audition, my audition experience in doing, this whole grind is bizarre because the same thing like John was just saying. You go into a room, different variations of who might be in the room.
Right.
You may have copy, you may not have copy, and they hand you copy right there. They may say just fly by the seat of your pants.
Yeah.
Whatever. The two. And every single time, I can't even tell you how many shows I've auditioned for that I've not gotten.
Sure.
The two shows that are the biggest or well-known shows that I've actually done, the For Love or Money and Tool Academy, both I got after they had gone through the whole gauntlet of auditioning people.
Right.
And I met with them in a room at like NBC with some executive on a couch and like the two producers, and then was like, do you want this job? Just sat in a room, talked with him, and like, do you want the job?
Oh, nice.
Right.
After you've already auditioned.
No.
Oh.
Didn't audition.
Oh, wow.
Ooh,
Didn't audition. But no, what I'm saying is, how many times did I say? Twice. I've been doing this for over 10 years. So it doesn't happen very often.
So you didn't have to.
I did not audition. I did not technically show them I could do what I could do. Right? They saw my reel.
With them was you go in sitting down and say, do you want this?
They sat down. It wasn't like, oh, Jordan, please, will you take this job? It wasn't that kind of meeting. It was, so, Jordan, let's talk. Da-da-da. They showed me the pilot. I watched the pilot.
Yeah.
We talked about the pilot. We talked about when it would be shooting. Da-da-da. And then I got a call. And it's usually like the 11th hour. They're like, let's call Jordan because no one else is doing it. And maybe he's available. And that's what those two jobs happened. I mean, I literally went on Thursday.
That is, though. That's just them going like, well, we know he can do this. Look at his past work.
The reel, that's when my reel came in handy. It's one of those, how many times you're like, could you just look at my reel? I mean, I can do this. I promise. I look much better on camera with people having fussed with my hair and putting makeup on my face than I do coming on off the street.
Yeah.
So why don't you look at me at my best?
Yeah, exactly.
And fortunately, a couple times it's actually worked out that way. Many times,
I wish that would be the case all the time.
So do I. That's why we have a reel.
No other job does that. I mean, you don't go like if I wanted to apply for a job at Burger King.
No.
Right? I walk in with a resume.
Yeah.
I go look at the things I've done
been
in the
there.
past. Here's what I can do for you. They don't go like, I don't know. Why don't you get behind that fryer and see how it looks?
Yeah. Flip me some patties.
Well, no, I just told you. You call my old boss. He'll tell you.
I promise.
No. I need to see it. I need you to get behind that fryer right now.
Nope. There's no auditioning.
No other job does that except for acting.
You don't audition for flipping burgers.
Yeah.
We should do that.
That's why they pay you, minimum wage too, I suppose.
That's true. I just use that as an example.
I know. I got you. Good point.
That's interesting.
I would say, that's a good not foreshadowing, but for like, they have marriage counseling. We have to go talk to a priest and they kind of whatever.
That is my wife making dog food.
Got it. Sorry.
They should do that if you're auditioning for a husband or wife, you know, where you get to sit on a couch and then you have maybe your wife-to-be off to the side, and you get ready just to watch a game or something on. You got like a hot dog next to you, and you just settled in, and then you have them say, "Oh, are you just going to sit there all day? I would like to go to the park." And just so you can see.
It's like a dress rehearsal for marriage?
Yeah.
Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Okay, got it.
Interesting.
Almost like you're auditioning, so you can kind of see that.
That
And then,
should be something that everyone has to do before they get married, is what you're
yes.
saying? Okay.
Yes.
So
yes.
auditions
So,
are good for some things.
yes, they are.
And
If you get a
yes for
little
other
just to
things.
see. Because, yeah.
I like it. So, Jordan, they just said, you got the part. Do you want the part? And you said, well, I guess.
Well, yeah, of course. I mean, again, I'm a whore, so, and I like to say,
I like the way you
whore.
say it.
Yeah, yeah. It makes it's like Target as opposed to Target.
Yeah.
It's like a whore kind of elevates
More
my
about-
status.
It would go like whore.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, I like whoa.
Yeah, whore. So either way around it, they said, would you like to? And honestly, the only thing that crossed my mind as far as like, maybe not, which was like a minuscule amount, was my concern around saying or having host Douchebag Academy VH1 on my resume.
I see. Yeah.
That was about it.
Right.
That was about it. And then they changed the title to Tool Academy, but it wasn't like I was like Daniel Day-Lewis doing Lincoln. I won't do Lincoln unless you give me a year to work on it, Spielberg.
Yeah. Okay.
That was not my contingency.
So it wasn't your idea to change it from douchebag
Absolutely
to toolbag. You just
not.
got lucky because you didn't like douchebag.
It was VH1 who said, we can't really sell the space if we have douchebag all over it. Unless Massengill is going to sponsor.
You weren't worried at all. I think you almost said this, is that you kind of worried about having to tell someone, I'm sorry, you're just a tool. Did that ever cross your mind as a problem? Because it wouldn't be for me, but some of those guys are big dudes.
Well, that was the only thing. I think.
How did you boot people off the show? Let's say me
You're
and
just
Reed.
a tool. Yeah. Okay. So
Okay, let's say me and Reed are standing there.
So, real quickly, basically, who've not seen Douchebag or who've not seen Tool Academy, but what happened is we would basically take a group of douchebags who were with a significant other who were kind of fed up with their relationship and saying, this is a last ditch situation to get this guy to wise up, or the relationship's over with. So the girls would dupe them into thinking they were going to be on the Mr. Awesome show or some iteration of that type of concept. They would show up thinking they were going to be on that, flaunt their thing, strut their stuff, and then we would completely flip the program on them and say, "Oh, you've actually been turned into the Tool Academy because your girlfriends are sick and tired of who you're being."
Not knowing that the girlfriends were behind the
Not
glass
knowing that the girls were watching the entire time for the first episode while they went through their actions and antics that were insane.
Right.
That's the first episode. And then we'd say, okay, if you want to stick around, you're playing for $100,000. If you can stick around, each week you guys will have to compete for certain attribute badges of a good guy. Honesty, communication.
Right. That's right.
Things like that.
And they got to wear the vests with all the badges.
Right. And they would earn the badges. And if you were booted off by our in-house relationship therapist, and myself, they would come into our final elimination room. And so, for example, they'd say, John Reep, this week, you and your girlfriend did your best when making the IKEA room furniture, although you seem to lose your patience. But at the end, you kind of kept your wits about you, so you're safe for one more week.
All right.
So go ahead and step back.
Thanks, baby.
John Heffron, would you please step forward?
Okay.
So, John, this week, you and your girlfriend, you had some bumps during therapy. You really lost your mind, and you threw something against the wall and broke it and nearly hurt one of your fellow contestants. And for that, you will be eliminated tonight. Ooh. And then I would say, I'm sorry, John, you're just a tool. Please hang up your jacket in the armoire. And leave the mansion immediately.
Get that drop. Remember that one.
Yeah.
We'll use that for the next show.
Yeah.
We should use that from now on. If either one of them, because he said John. He didn't say John Heffron or John Reep.
Right.
He said John. So anytime one of us do something in the future really dumb on the next podcast, we could just play that. I'm sorry, John. You're just a tool.
Sorry, John. You're just a tool. Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah. And so that was it. That was it. And they would get. And the thing is, you're right. As far as like the guys and as far as like the qualifications physically for douchebaggery, there's some basic ones. I mean, you either look like a douche, act like a douche, or you're a combination of both. You look and act like a douche.
On that show, man, my douche reader's pretty high. I look at almost everybody and go, "You look kind of douchey."
Well, you can have aspects that are giveaway douchebaggery. I think that
like tank top.
Tank top, douchebag for sure. There are certain elements. Yeah, there's certain elements that alone can scream douchebag. But on our show, it was more of the horn of plenty. Yeah. Douchebag. Qualification. Cornucopia, thank you, if you will, was like showing any sort of your undergarment, your underpants, under your overly bedazzled jeans, your Von Dutch hat that has zero curvature, that is cocked to the side,
douchey
the tank top, the over-tatted arms with symbols that you don't understand.
Yeah, great.
The
My favorite is
body.
his tank top was zitty back.
Yeah, overroided.
You overroided.
And
Ed
buffed.
Hardy, True Religion.
Yeah, exactly. Von Dutch.
Von Dutch, definitely.
What's the other one that starts with an A that's like got the pattern? Anyway, there's another one that...
not Diesel.
No. Diesel's pretty... I like Diesel. So that's not douchebag.
That's right.
So those aspects. And then you're talking about like what personally or individually makes a guy a douchebag is just, I think, the over narcissistic quality of the individual who thinks that they are so all that in a bag of chips, they can't get over themselves.
Right. And usually those guys, the people who act like that are usually, or at least this is what I think of them now, are usually the guys that are the most, insecure or afraid.
Absolutely.
It's usually 100%. My new thing. When I see somebody that is overly puffy chesty and just overly arrogant or whatever, now I look at the guy and go, wow, that guy's afraid of a lot of things.
100%.
He's afraid of this
in the past.
Or he's afraid of the situation that's going on right now. He's afraid of looking stupid. He's afraid of people finding out that he doesn't know anything.
It's all armor.
Or that he's dumb.
When you look at me and Heffron, we are so secure in who we are.
Yeah.
We have let ourselves go a little
on purpose.
Just don't care.
Just on purpose.
Just don't care.
That's right.
And I think that was the thing about doing the show that, doing reality TV in general, it's easy because the reality genre has a stigma, right? That's somewhat lowbrow.
Okay.
I think we would probably, and it's okay to admit that. It's okay.
Yeah.
By the way,
there's different ones. There's Honey Boo Boo. And then there's
there's Amazing Race.
Amazing Race.
Right.
I just posted on my Facebook page, and maybe I could play it here, but I doubt it. The Real World Episode 1, Entertainment Tonight did a special.
I did see that. I clicked on that,
and I watched it.
On your Facebook page,
So it was really interesting. So they had the Real World Episode 1, and then they interviewed the cast. And what's her name at Entertainment Tonight's like, and these group of strangers decided to let cameras follow them 24 hours a day.
Yeah. And that was like sliced bread. It was like
and then you see them, and they're like, it was kind of weird, because like the phone, but it was cool because none of them knew to be douches. So none of them went, you know what? If I'm the asshole here, I'm going to get a spin-off. I'm going to, nobody had that type of...
Savvy. It's reality savvy. They really do have...
And no storylines. Before there's not... Okay, here's the deal. And that's my 2013. I want to stop saying, here's the deal.
Oh, really?
I say it too much.
What about this? Because you do say this a lot too. Ba 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 ba. Like if you're instead of saying yada yada yada, sometimes you do the ba ba ba.
Okay, well you got to call me on that.
Okay. Hey, I'm sure I got one too.
But back then they didn't have. Now most reality shows have story editors or go. You know what? We need this to happen, and they go. I mean, look at Duck Dynasty.
Right.
Couldn't be all the shows couldn't be faker. And now we all get that it's fake, but some of it,
everything is set up. Every situation they do is set up.
Pawn Stars, anything with the word
even the shows
pickers,
that are supposed to be real aren't real.
And I can't stand it. I almost get anything with the words wars, stars, pickers. Any of that is so. I hate it. I hate how they're done. I hate the fact that I see you spilling stuff in the garage, and then it cuts to you going. So then earlier today, I spilled stuff in the garage. Yeah, we just saw it. Yeah. We're not stupid. So those.
What bothers me, I agree with you 100%. And True TV is the worst one of this at all. Their reality shows are so fake, it's not even funny. Lizard lick towing, where they're always getting in a fight. with someone,
okay.
and the fight, no one ever gets punched in the face.
Oh,
They're always
got it.
wrestling on the ground towards the end.
Right.
It's the fakest reality show.
What's the one?
ever.
Repo
Man is probably one.
Whatever one of those
something.
repo ones is
Yeah.
is completely made up. Even Ice Truckers is completely made up.
Yeah.
But it's
All
like,
of them are.
They
The
might
only
die. Because nobody drives trucks across the ice. Nobody. It doesn't happen.
Well, here's what I don't understand. Now, I don't know if we need a subject change, but we've all pitched shows before,
Yep.
and you go in there and they pitch a show, and then usually the biggest question when you have an idea is they want to see the arc of where the show's going to be. Back in the day, it used to be 5 years.
Right.
To go, well, what's
Now it's like 3 seasons.
season 5 or
What's the end game?
and then I get pissed going, what are the Bigfoot hunters? How are they pitching that? They never find Bigfoot. Ice road truckers, nobody falls into the ice.
No, never will.
Ghost hunters, never found a ghost. So, how do they go? Here's a show, and it's going to be on for 5 years.
Yeah.
Every episode is, wait, do you guys feel the change in the temperature? Wait, what's that? Oh my god, that's every episode of.
It's because human
of
beings.
all that.
I think because human beings, unfortunately,
Did you guys-
are dim. No, I watch the Ghost Hunters too. I'm saying
I can't
to
stand it.
myself,
I get
I'll
mad.
watch it thinking maybe this episode, maybe this episode. I don't want to miss it.
Yeah.
If they find one, I don't want to miss it.
as it happens.
Did you guys ever go snipe hunting?
Yes.
What is that?
Ooh. Ooh, now I don't even want to have the conversation that I was about to have.
Totally take
Uh-oh.
snipe hunting.
Okay.
They have snipes here?
Yeah.
Or do we have to go
Can
up
you define sniping?
to the woods?
Or is that something you can't even tell me yet?
Well, we have to go, but
Kill me.
it's finding it though, and they're tough to find.
It's like a bird.
Okay.
It's a very rare bird, and you go hunting for them. That someone has to be in charge of holding the bag because everyone else runs off with flashlights and nets and stuff. You sort of chase them to one area.
Where does this hunt originate?
They're actually around. Like once we show you
wooded
one,
area.
yeah, you'll be able to find one easier.
But I mean, who came up with this idea?
I don't know.
Back-
I started
backwoods in
snipe
Kentucky,
hunting
or-
with my dad.
Maybe.
Like your dad take you your first time?
You don't hear. Well, we should just
In the woods of Detroit?
because we're not going to take you.
But here's the show. Yeah, I know, but it was fun to play it
In
along.
the backwoods of Detroit, you
but I
learned to
live
snipe?
What would happen? But here's the show idea. Why can't on the History Channel?
Right.
Why can't we have
Snipe
the snipe
hunters.
hunters?
Yeah, snipe hunters.
Where we go into town and we find somebody to go snipe hunting.
Yes.
It's the same episode every single time, but so is let me do American Chopper. We're not going to get the bike face. Yes, you are. I don't like the paint. I'm going to quit. We'll never get this done on time.
Yeah.
Hey, look, we got it done.
Okay, so let's just spoiler alert right now. Okay, if you're
No.
listening to this and there's someone in the room that you want to take snipe hunting in the future, stop the.
Please
podcast
turn off
now.
the podcast.
Or kick them out?
Are we breaking any type of rule by explaining
I
this?
just said spoiler alert.
Okay, yeah. So if you've ever,
It's a clause right there.
But
I feel
dude,
safe now.
I might even delete everything we've just talked about.
Okay.
And we should pitch this as a show.
The reason why I want
Here's
it
the-
is I want to tell Jordan and you my snipe hunting story.
Okay, we'll tell Jordan what it is. The deal is there's no such thing as a snipe.
Well, there actually is.
Well, there is.
But the
And what
actual
happens
snipe
is you
hunting
take somebody into the woods and you go on this mystical thing and you never go.
just
But
mess with-
everybody falls for it.
build it.
Yeah, you scare the crap out of them. Somehow.
Okay, but how
You leave
is-
them there by themselves?
Okay, so now let's say that's a show and we take you out snipe hunting.
Yeah.
How is that any different than Barefoot Hunter?
No.
Or Bigfoot Hunter? Ghost Hunter? Or any of that? Or Pickers? It's not. It's a fake show.
Right, of course.
There's a new one called Swamp Pickers. Have you seen this?
No, I'm not gonna.
Well, there's also like the.
They're canoeing.
Yeah.
And they randomly look into the swamp, and they look down and go, "Oh my gosh, is that a 1920 Victrola?" And they reach into the water and pull out.
they're hunting for crap in this
Well,
in
so
the
it's
swamp.
American Pickers mixed with swamp.
In the
people.
swamp.
But it's in the swamp, so you're like, "Look at this diamond ring! It's
Is that
never.
real, or are you just making this up?
It's Swamp Pickers.
That's a
People
real
go
thing.
through the
I thought
swamp.
you were joking.
No,
Oh my God, Swamp Pickers! Don't
Wha-
watch that show, people. Please,
It's below you.
For us,
Yeah.
don't watch that show. I learned snipe hunting in a weird way. My dad took me, my brother, and like 3 of our friends camping one weekend, and. Before we were going, all the kids came over to the house, and we had a sleepover the night before we actually went camping. And he's like, "Yeah, when we get there, we're going to take all you kids snipe hunting." We're like, "What? What is snipe hunting?" And he's like, oh, you never heard? Oh, there's this little bird, and they're very rare, and you have to have flashlights because when you spotlight them, they'll freeze, and you can catch them. But we're gonna have somebody hold the bag, and so whoever's holding the bag is the one getting pranked, right? But he didn't tell us that. He was joking. Backstory. Yeah. So we go, but the night before, we all stay up late. We watch this scary movie about these wild boars. That,
Do you have to have the wild boar story to make this work?
No, not at all. This just happened to be my experience.
Got it.
So we watch a scary movie about wild boars that attack a village and kill people. Probably a really dumb, cheesy movie, but at the time it scared the crap out of us. So anyway, now we're in the mountains. We're camping.
Remember Cujo? That was a scary movie.
Yeah, it was. Have
Okay.
you watched it again, though?
Not so much.
I don't have anything.
Doesn't hold up.
Just kidding.
Wouldn't hold up.
Wouldn't hold up. No, I was like, can't you just push the car? I don't know. So anyway,
Wild boars attack
wild
village.
boars, we're camping. It's time to go snipe hunting, and my brother's the one that we're gonna prank. Right. So Dad gets Jason, puts him in the middle of the woods, and says, "All right, so you stand here and hold the bag. We're all gonna go off and find these snipes." And we all start running with Dad, and we're running through the woods, and we're looking around. I'm still looking for snipes. He hasn't told me it's not real yet.
Right.
So I'm running around with flashlights looking for snipes. He corrals us all behind this tree where we can see Jason, but Jason can't see us.
The guy who's getting pranked.
Yeah, my brother. And he goes, okay, all right, guys, listen up. And he goes, okay, there's no such thing as snipes. And I was like, what? Like, I was devastated. I was like, you lied.
What am I doing out here?
What's next? There's no Santa. But he said, there's no snipes. And I was devastated. He goes, no, but we're going to prank your brother. I go, yes, I'm back.
Yes.
I'm on board.
That's the thing.
And so what we did was we just hid in the woods, and then Dad started making these boar noises because he knew we watched that movie. And he started crying. My brother started crying.
How old was he?
Oh, probably like 2. No, I'm kidding.
What?
That'd be horrible.
Your father abused
like
your son.
Maybe 9, 10, something like
Okay,
that.
all right.
That's a good age.
That's
to
a good
do
age
that.
to terrify them.
But
Yeah.
but my brother was so scared he started crying, and my dad to this day says it's one of the worst things he's ever done because he feels so bad that he embarrassed Jason in front of all his friends and made him cry.
My
I got a good one, too, for you on the scaring bent. Hold on one second. Just before, can you pause just for a second?
Yeah,
Okay.
we can salon pause.
Yeah, salon pause for 1 second. Yeah, I got a scary story that goes as far as like that age range you're talking about,
right.
and parents who are a little bit demented when it comes to scaring children.
Yeah.
And it goes a little something like this. No, my parents are very funny, kind of twisted people.
Yeah.
In a good way, right? And I must have been probably, I want to say like 12, you know?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And I have 2 younger brothers, so my middle brother would have been 10, the other brother would have been 8, okay?
Okay.
So we're at home, and I don't remember what the time of the year was, but I'm going to go with fall, Halloween, just because I think it fits.
Correct.
Yes, thank you. Thank you. So it's evening. I hear the car drive up. Now, we had a driveway that came up past our kitchen window, sink, looked over the window, just give you a little bit of the real estate. Mm-hmm. My mom comes running in the back door of the kitchen, yelling and screaming like terrified.
Okay.
Like fully committed to her experience
Right.
of
Whatever
was going on.
Okay.
And I run downstairs and I'm like, what is going on? And she's like, there's a man and he's coming to get him. He's chasing. And she is like frantic.
Oh my God.
And I'm like, what? I can't even get my head around what she's talking about because this has never happened in my world. Ooh. And she's like, he's right there. And she points out the window of the kitchen over the sink, and there is a man standing in the window, broad-shouldered, 6'4", with a hockey mask on.
Oh, great.
Staring at me in the kitchen window.
Right.
And it took everything in that moment, those formative years of who are you? Who are you going to be? Are you going to be the man you want to be, or are you going to be the weenie?
Right.
And it's so split second. All I got out of my mouth was, ooh, ooh. That was about all I could get out of my mouth. And I must have just turned completely white. And my mom just looked at me like, oh my God, honey.
What did I just
honey,
do?
I'm honey. It's your father. I'm kidding. He's okay. So David, take the mask off. Honey, are you okay? And I was just like, I couldn't.
Why would you do this to me, woman?
Damn
Why
it.
would you do this to me, Mom?
I was like damaged, and yet, a little bit proud. A little bit proud that in the moment I hadn't like hightailed it out of there.
I would have taken off.
Right. And so what happens is, after she realizes that she's essentially scarred her number one son, I turn around and leave, and she goes back to 1 and sets it up for my next brother who comes down the stairs. Did it to my other brother.
Well, she has to now.
And he about faced, ran up the stairs and told his best friends up the stairs,
You know, that's
and I was
what-
like,
When they're trying to find service dogs, what they do is kind of like that. They take a can full of nails and they shake it.
Mm-hmm.
And they'll like shake it and they'll throw it on the ground. So it just makes this noise that's really annoying. Yeah. And some dogs will take off. The dogs that run to the can pass the first test.
They win.
Because
I'm telling you,
I'm still though to this day.
I could be a drug dog.
Yeah, you could be totally a drug dog. I'm still paranoid. My parents used to do this thing where there's road called Knock Knock Road, and my dad would load up the car full of kids, and he'd go, "Do you guys ever hear about what happened on this Knock Knock Road?" And we're like, "No." Well, this girl was going to prom. And it was back in the 60s. Mm-hmm. This girl was going to prom, and she was all done up in a real nice prom dress, real beautiful white dress with a corsage on everything. And she leaves her date, and he's got a car, and he slams the door on her hand, and he drives away. And as she's driving to get him to open up the car, she starts knocking on the bottom of the car.
Oh, so she's being dragged.
She's being dragged by her arm.
knocking.
This is a story a parent is telling a group of kids whose other parents let them, stay at the Heffron's house for a sleepover. That should be totally fine. They seem like they're okay. And he would knock on the door. And it was this abandoned road. And then to this day, if you drive down this road, you'll hear her knocking, and she would like you to stop the car.
It's a really good one. I'm going to use that.
So then what happens is you go on the road. To this day, I don't know if it was because there's a lot of potholes in the road or if my dad was knocking. Don't know, because my head was just like, and nobody would look out of the window. And like the one tough kid who's probably his parents were divorced, who's left home a lot, he's looking out of the window going, I remember one kid was with us, I think Ken McMullen was there going, I see her. She's wearing all white. We're like, oh my God, please stop.
What was his name again?
Ken McMullen.
You know what's awesome, though, is when we remember friends' names from the past, we always got to give the full name.
Yep.
You ever notice that?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah, Jason Santucci, buddy of mine from back in, it was like 7 years.
Or if you say a guy's name, if you say a guy's name who was kind of a dick, when you say his name, you're like, oh, yeah.
You mean like Larry fucking McSwain?
Oh, McSwain. Yeah, like Larry McSwain totally sounds like an asshole.
Douche.
Yeah.
Anyway, so the guy was a freaked out. Sorry, I took you off your knock.
No, so that was it.
Well, I want to say that both stories. Anytime that there's like a dude like who's just standing there.
By the way, we're totally doing our Halloween episode
with a mask on of some sort. Even not even that, maybe just a crazy look, and he's just standing there.
Yeah.
That to me is one of the scariest, especially like when I was in Boy Scouts. We did this thing. We went like capture the flag, and there was this one dude. I forgot what was his damn name. I can't remember his name now. But anyway, he was a douche. He was an asshole. He picked on everybody. But when we were playing this game, it was one of those nights where it hadn't started raining yet, but you could hear thunder, and it had the lighting that was like a strobe light that would happen.
Right.
So it'd be pitch dark, and then out of nowhere, the whole place would be lit up for like a second.
Yes.
And so we were playing this game in the dark, and we had flashlights, and I just remember that one kid. I had to figure out where is he, because I know he's going to do something stupid to me or to one of my friends, and I couldn't find him. And all of a sudden, I'm running through the woods, and that lightning happens, and he's just standing right in front of me, stoic, like about to stab me in the face or something. I didn't see him coming. It scared the shit out of me.
Less is more, man. Less is more with scary stuff like that. I mean, the thing is, my wife is also twisted. I'm twisted, and we scare our children. And we've gotten to a point now where they think it's a fun game, and so we'll hear my wife drive in or whatever, close the garage, and my son's like, "Dad, let's get her." And he'll just literally get up, and all he has to do is just do one of these. Like, he'll just stand right behind a door and just be like this.
That's a scary turn.
He just turns the corner. Not even say anything.
That's scarier than jumping out going, "Oh, gotcha!"
Yeah,
that slow turn. You're like, "Hello."
Slow turn right into someone's path that wasn't expecting a body. And my wife does it to me all the time. There's degrees to which I want to punch her in the face when she does it because she got me, or she really got me. And do I go, "Ha ha," or do I go,
Right.
Did I pop that one good?
There's levels of it. I love scaring people, and I used to do it all the time with roommates. And
Yeah.
but Genta had forbid me.
Oh, God.
I can't scare anymore. It really sucks because I'm so good at it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They like kind of cut off your balls there.
And I'll scare her by accident sometimes. Like I don't even mean to scare her. Like she'll
right.
be upstairs with music playing.
Here's a little thing.
And I'll just walk in.
Oh, my wife does the same thing. It's like I don't live in a house.
She'll look up.
I'm going to get.
Yeah, it's like I don't live in the house. I do the same thing. I walk in, I'm like, you realize I live here with you.
Yeah.
I might actually
I'm
walk in the room.
to take space.
Yeah, I might actually walk into the room. And my wife's the same way. She's very easily scared and loves to scare people. And I can't watch scary movies anymore because she can't watch an episode of CSI.
Here's the takeaway for everybody listening. Usually when you get frightened or you get startled, on a hypnosis level, your subconscious can accept more information right at that moment where you get jolted. So right when you go, that split second after you go, your everything in your brain is open to suggestion. So when I'm at a comedy club, anytime a glass breaks,
right,
I always go johnheffron.com. Because people heard me more because you go glass break, your brain goes, what was that? And then it's clear for a second, and then that's when you can come swooping in and go johnheffron.com.
I didn't know this was the neuroscience segment of John.
Yes,
Heffron and
we
Reep
usually
show.
end most podcasts with. So here's
neuroscience
loaded with them.
So here's what you do when you scare your girl. If you turn a corner, and your wife's turning the corner, and she goes, at that moment,
more sex.
Blowjob.
Yeah.
Or whatever's quicker. Right. Yeah, whatever's quicker. But you can't fake it. It's got to be natural. And she might not react at that time.
Do dishes.
Yes. That's the time when you can do a suggestion.
Nice.
Isn't that kind of what they do?
Hypnotic suggestion.
I was going to say, wouldn't they do with hypnosis when they grab your heart and you kind of
just yank you real
they
fast?
pop you? Isn't that kind of what they're?
Yeah, it jolts you.
Yeah.
Got it. Yeah, the neuro-linguistic programming, huh?
So there you go. People listening, if you scare anybody, throw a suggestion. Now listen,
That's what's great about this podcast. Not only are you entertained, but you learn something.
Here's the deal.
And you get to play along with it.
Here's what they got on this podcast. If you've been listening, they learned a little trivia. They know their ground floor of our infomercial dynasty we're about to start. Their ground floor, if you'd like to be part of that. They learned about snipe hunting.
Yeah.
Douchebaggery.
Douchebaggery. And we also gave them a hypnotic suggestion to get more Hummers.
Very nice.
That was a lot in an hour.
That is.
I dare you to watch Duck Dynasty and learn that much in an hour.
It's impossible.
Chock full.
Yeah. This is a good one. I'm proud of this one.
It's good. I feel good about
I'm
it.
going to promote the crap out of this one. I might even pay for it. I might promote this one for $50 on Facebook.
Did you know on Facebook, you can see what posts you post and then what post people unfriend you?
Wow.
What do you mean?
In the statistics or
In the statistics now.
The
Like if
diagnostics is the word I'm looking for.
Give me an example of what you're talking about.
Let's say you post listen to Heffron and Reep, right?
Just the words.
And then the link. You can now click on a thing that says how many people saw that link.
Right.
How many people, organic. And then you'll see how many people
Viral.
Unfriended you.
That one I didn't know.
I didn't know that either.
You can see, and the number one time I get unfriended on my fan page.
Oh no, what is it? Can I guess?
Sure.
This is fun. See, I get to
This is fun.
It's when you try to promote the show.
When I promote the podcast,
Yep.
and I plug my T-shirts.
Right.
So it's when you sell them.
When you try to sell,
When you sell them.
But the podcast, I don't think I'm selling because
it's free.
It's good entertainment.
No, I get
but
it. It occurs like a sell.
But if it seems like a push,
Yeah.
the T-shirt was the most.
Yeah.
Huh.
Interesting.
And now when I say unlikes, it's literally like 2 or 3 or 4.
Right.
But one I got 14.
Wow. Is that a shirt one or a podcast?
I think it was a shirt one.
Yeah.
Although, if you want to get my Awesome Life uniform shirts, very popular. I sold out of them.
My T-shirt.
Boom, yeah. You can go to...
We just got unfriended by...
Yeah, go to... We are, listen. I just gave you... Listen.
Can we just scare the listeners
I
into buying
just
a T-shirt?
told you how to get...
That's
yeah,
right.
I just told you how to get more Hummers. The least you can do now is buy me a T-shirt. Next time you're getting a Hummer, ask yourself, what's the dollar value of that? And is it worth the few bucks you spent on a T-shirt? Probably.
And it's
Why
a
am
great
I having
t-shirt.
this blowjob? Because of John
of the Heffron and Reep show. So if you go to heffronandreep.com, hit shop, me and Reep have a bunch of stuff on there. That's all I'll say about it.
Yeah. Leave us a voicemail. And I like it when people go to our iTunes page.
Yeah, we need
Leave
that.
comments, because that's how we get rankings and that's how we get rated and stuff like
Good,
that.
bad, or indifferent.
Exactly.
All comments. All press is good press.
We had someone just leave a recipe for meatloaf, which was fine.
Lovely.
Yeah.
I
love meatloaf.
Informational and useful, and it helped us.
Absolutely.
So yeah, give us your best meatloaf recipe, or
go. I would love to go snipe hunting with you.
Yeah, you got a good story? Type it all out in the iTunes page. Just take up space. Type it all. All right. Well, are we done here, John? It feels like we're wrapping it up, but I'm having so much fun.
Well, what I was wondering, the only thing that keeps coming up, people always, and I don't know why I'm coming back to this, it's like sticking in my head.
That's fine.
About the tool bag show.
Right.
The tool bag show.
Tool Academy?
Tool Academy show. First of all, people thought I was like on a tool show, literally like I was hawking tools.
Right.
Like Tim the tool guy.
Tool time.
Right. Not the case. So, but it was one of the aspects of it that, one of the ideas of the show that allowed me to kind of get past the fact that it was called Tool Academy. Mm-hmm. Beyond the fact that it was paying me a lot of money,
right.
which was an easy way to get over it.
Yeah.
It helps.
Helped a lot. Was that there was a thread of integrity that I was able to carve out of it, that these guys came in and basically had their bell rung in a way that they'd never had their bell rung before.
Yeah,
publicly. And I mean, publicly. Yeah. Like, they literally walked into this forum thinking they were going to be showing up a certain way, and literally were flipped on their ass.
Yes, that's why I loved it.
It was genius. And the thing is that our in-house relationship therapist, Trina Dolans, was fantastic, very authentic. Like, she was legit and real and really believed what she was doing. So she wasn't faking it.
Okay.
And they weren't faking it either.
Right.
There were fake elements to the show, obviously. Nobody stays in a palatial mansion with all their creature comforts removed from them for 3 weeks. No one does that.
Right.
But and is then like literally pounded, booze and Red Bull for 3 weeks without internet, magazines, CNN, ESPN, porn, Xbox, all that.
Yeah.
But that these guys literally had a mirror put up to them that they had never had put up before, and actually got to see their significant other hurt right before their eyes.
Right.
And that opportunity to have them have that awakening allowed me to sleep better at night. I was like, okay, these guys are actually seeing something about themselves that they wouldn't have seen any other way, and that probably no one else would have been able to say to them that way. And now they have a choice. They have a choice to keep it up, or they have a choice to go, wow, you know what? I really don't like who I'm being.
And couple
You're
things.
doing the world a favor there, really.
I feel like I'm helping the world one douche at a time.
Yeah, exactly.
No, it's weird. This podcast felt like I took my stepdaughter and family to hot yoga last night.
Yeah.
Like Bikram? Is that what you mean?
Not Bikram, but it was 110 degrees.
Yeah. You're
But not
balls.
Bikram.
Okay, got it.
People who teach
What's the
Bikram, the poses and stuff, but on a
25 poses in Bikram.
now you're gonna have
yoga.
to follow my ADD here, but so I'm gonna cover 4 things right here.
Okay.
Bikram yoga, on a side note, if you're a Bikram instructor, okay, the fact that you chose a profession that you're in 110 degrees 5 hours a day, don't take that out on the people who are smart enough to only come once a week. Okay? You need just to relax with your militant Nazi. I'm a Bikram. No, if you've ever been.
What happened to you?
I've gone.
Yeah.
I've been. A friend of mine owns a couple of them.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the one that I went to is hot yoga. It's like different yoga stuff, not Bikram.
Yeah.
So like
in
hatha
110.
yoga, but just in a
that
hot
might
room.
be it. That might be it. I don't know enough about yoga
But
to
just
know.
different yoga poses, but you're in a hot room.
Yeah, this one was more stretching than
Yeah.
Bikram, where sometimes you're like, "There's no way."
Right.
But there, you know what I mean. But because it's 110 degrees, there's a couple moments during class where you think you're gonna die.
How many people in the class with you?
15, 16.
Oh yeah,
Are you the
Bikram.
oldest one?
What?
Are you the oldest one in the class?
No, there are a lot of people.
Okay.
Bikram, and I've never been to hot period, but I've been to Bikram several times, and there are many times where I've either felt like I was an Olympic athlete and I could do no wrong, or I felt like I was going to start to vomit. And like I couldn't move again.
Wow.
So last night, this just reminded me when you go, I feel like we're wrapping up. Are we going? So she turns. So we're doing all this stuff.
Right.
She turns down the lights And she said, everyone roll over onto their backs. And I'm like, yes.
Oh, it's almost over.
This is we're wrapping up. Where this is the chill out part where she just wants us to think about stuff.
I hear abs coming.
Yeah. And then we laid there, and that's exactly. Then she turns on the music, and like Lady Gaga starts playing it. I just went, what just happened? And then 45 minutes from the point where I thought we were done, we were still going. And it was such a mental fuck because you're just like, oh, okay, I made it. I'm not, and then you're like, what's going? So it's just this whole ride.
Was that your first time doing hot yoga at that place?
Yeah, but I'm going to go again. I feel really drained today, though.
Yeah.
I feel beyond drained, but I'm going to go
I bet
again.
you that's the best sort of exercise you can do at our age.
Fantastic.
It feels you sleep good. I mean,
you're
you're
as flexible as we used to be, and I'm not at all.
Yeah, and you just.
I went to my wife is big into ballet now, right? And they have a stretch class. I thought I'll go with her to the stretch class.
Yeah, it's so hard.
And I went, and it's hilarious. I mean, it's embarrassing.
Yeah.
So there was one time it was like, okay, get on your stomach and spread your legs like this, and then just pull your foot and try to touch the back of your head. I'm like, what?
Yeah, you pull your foot and try to touch your back of your head.
It, though.
No, I know. Of course I can.
So going back to the putting mirrors up to yourself, it's funny when you ask yourself questions when you have to do a little bit of. When you hold yourself up accountable for why you do stuff. I just hired, and maybe this is for a whole nother podcast. I think maybe it is. I hired now this
part 2.
Yeah, well,
and we're back.
I hired a branding guy for my stand-up.
You mean
this guy treats you as if you're a company, which you are.
A product.
You're a product.
Yeah.
And it simplifies your message to then get people who you want to come and see you to come and see you. Like, if an example, now I'm all over the place, but people who listen to this, they're smart, they can pay attention. When you buy ads on Facebook saying, come and see me in Columbus, Ohio, which I'm there in a few weeks at the Funny Bone.
Yeah, 17th through 20th. Yeah.
Okay, I can spend ads on Facebook and just let the world know that I'm at the Funny Bone, but the world doesn't necessarily want to come and see me. So what I need to figure out is who your super fan is.
Target audience.
Yes. Who's the person who's going to drive 2 hours, maybe make a weekend trip of it, maybe get a hotel and plan their birthday around
your
it.
super fan.
And then what you do is you go through all these processes to one, find out who they are, and it's not who you think it is. It's more of a.
I've done that.
And so the guy and then the wording. So anyway, he sent me this questionnaire and it was one of the hardest questionnaires that next podcast I'll bring it on, but it's literally like, what is your purpose of life? Why are you here?
Yeah.
What is your and you're like, I don't know.
Be funny?
Yeah. But it goes through, and then it's like, what? Okay, so what makes you different than other people in your field?
Is this Scientology?
No. This is just him going through. Yeah, going.
He audited him.
Yeah. No, this goes through to figure out but they're just random questions.
No, it breaks you down.
That you only but to go.
He needs to know that about you before he can help.
Well, any product is going to do that.
This is called the awareness phase, and once you're aware of your market, who you are, what other people are. Now, this is for people who are like other comics listening right now, are like, boy, you're making this comedy sound. No, for me, at my career, comedy is
business.
Is more than going out, let's have some shots of tequila, let's smell on stage, let's be so drunk on stage that I'm not. For me, it's a complete business.
Right, sure.
And sometimes I get shit, like people who listen to our podcast or hear how I talk go, comedy's about the art and da-da-da. Okay, you enjoy the art of working at 3 o'clock in the morning doing one set. I'm going to enjoy the art of not being homeless when I'm 60. I'm going to enjoy that, you know what I mean?
Show business.
I've done comedy for 23 years. There was a big chunk of it where it was just about the notebook and hanging out.
Well, this is what you're saying.
Now I've progressed past that, and you want to, but those questions, like if I were to ask you, John, what makes you different?
Yeah.
Then it's a hard question.
Right.
Because you go, well, I'm funnier. Like, it makes it.
I would start answering and thinking, like, I don't know if that's really different. I start saying.
That's even an awareness, like during this stage. And then the guy has a marketing plan and then a way to engage people so they continue to be your fans. But it's really hard.
Well, you also kind of getting like, I don't care what those guys who might poo-poo my philosophy for having my business think. you can't please everybody all the time.
Right.
Yeah,
You
no.
as a comedian, you're not going to please everybody all the time.
No.
He's talking
There
about
are
other
comedians like
comedians,
if
too.
if you're Jay Leno,
Yeah.
your job is to please more than the average bear all the time. Your job isn't.
Yeah, but yeah, on a side note, but especially for comedy, if you're just one of those dudes now that go, I just want to be funny and show up, it's gonna
Short term.
you have to go because you go. Who are you talking to? Like working with this guy, I figured out I have like 4 main subjects that I always talk about in my act, right? And I've always done it since I was 18 years old. I've hit these same 3, same 3 topics or writing style. It's like a band who sings ballads.
Right.
And the guy goes, and it's this guy, real Brooklyn-y guy.
Sherry.
What is my... Yeah, exactly. He goes like this. He goes, you have to stay in this pocket because if I was to come and see you and you, John Heffron, was political on stage or really conspiracy theory or this is how the government should be,
you lose it.
I would be completely pissed. He goes, people who are Bruce Springsteen fans, he goes, do you know when he lost fans, do you know what album got people so fucking pissed off at Bruce Springsteen? And he goes, The Tunnel of Love. The Tunnel of he goes, you go to Bruce Springsteen because he talks about being broke. He talks about having hard times.
Yeah.
I don't come to him for love advice.
Right. Yeah.
I don't like that was his big love album where if you're a fan, you're like,
Right.
well, you
Well,
don't.
David Bowie fans went ballistic when he did Let's Dance.
I'm like, we don't come to you to. So those questions.
Possibly one of the funniest music videos of all time.
Yeah.
Family Guy did a whole episode of that.
But I'll bring those questions because that's on a side note. That's what my brain hit when he said, "Hold a mirror up to yourself."
Yeah.
Or something you've done for so long. When somebody asks you simple questions like, "What makes you different?" You're like,
And why do you do what you do?
And that
beyond
what are the
money.
reasons- Oh, that was another thing. What do you want? What do you want? Not what I wish. Like all this kind of not goal setting, but it's.
Well, it's about getting specific. It's just really clarifying who you are and what you're up to. And most
It was
human
hard.
beings aren't trained to do that.
There were 3 questions, and he's like, he goes, part of the process of me showing you how to just do market research is you fucking up the questionnaire.
Oh, okay.
Nobody does it right, but these 3 questions, like I'll bring them on the next podcast.
Okay. All right.
I'll put you. I can't coach you like he does, but I'll give you the questions. I stared at a blank computer for 3 hours.
I can see you obsessing over that.
Of course.
And I probably would too. But
it's interesting.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we'll save that one for next time. We'll do it.
It'll be a big year. I saw Hanson at the airport. We'll talk
Nice.
about that the next one.
You saw
Hanson might be on our podcast.
Hanson, the
Hanson,
group,
the
singing
band.
group?
Yeah.
Yes.
Wow. It's
Awesome.
a celebrity sighting for the 2013
And they
year.
talked to me, and they weren't at all creeped out that a 42-year-old male knew their entire anthology.
Did you ask him what Bop was really about?
Bop is very
Because
Esoteric?
Cyndi Lauper had She Bop, and that has a hidden meaning. Does Bop?
Was She Bop about bopping?
yeah.
She bopped herself.
Bop is very Buddhist. If you listen to the lyrics, yeah,
Like like kind of thing?
yeah. That's why I'm a big Hanson fan. They wrote all their own songs, and yet we give them shit. Yet we
Because
give
they were
shit.
young, and that one kid looked like a
Yeah,
girl.
and then none of the Hanson brothers turned out to be whack jobs.
Right. They're all married with like 18 kids.
None of them got addicted to drugs. None of them spent all their money. None of them were in rehab. Yet they're the shitty ones. Yet we make fun of them.
Yeah.
No,
But-
I'm a big fan. I can't stand
No, not
people
you
who
guys,
slam-
but I'm saying, but
I
that's-
can't stand people who slam like Justin Bieber or Taylor Swift. I mean, those guys are entrepreneurs.
Yeah.
Entrepreneurs.
Yeah.
No joke. If you actually look at the story of who they are and how they got to be who they are and how they actually run their corporation, they're no joke, those guys.
And here's the deal: if you're not a Justin Bieber fan, I hate to break it to you, he's not singing for you. You're 40 years old.
Yeah.
He
Let it
has.
go.
Yeah. He. You know what? His
if
group
you
is
are
11-year-old
40 years old
girls.
and you
They
like
love
Justin
him.
Bieber,
Yeah. That's it.
Move on.
Yeah, find yourself. Yeah, if you're an adult thinking about how much you hate Justin Bieber, you're thinking about Justin Bieber too much.
yeah. That's the problem.
Yeah, ask yourself, why do you think about Justin Bieber?
Why are you putting that mirror up to yourself?
Yeah. There can't be anger without fear. So, are you afraid you actually like Justin Bieber? Is that why you hate him so much?
Search your feelings. You know it's true.
Yes.
This is getting deep.
Use the force.
All right.
Do you know who has the most number one hits now? The number one hit singles?
Taylor Swift.
No.
Mariah Carey.
No.
God, I know who it is too.
It's current.
Wait, I know who it is. Oh, it's Kelly.
Nope.
Katy Perry.
Yes.
Katy Perry.
Yes.
Thank you. Ding, 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 ding.
Katy Perry.
Love Katy Perry.
She had a documentary out not too long ago.
I know.
That
I have two
watched it
girls.
on the
I have two
plane.
girls.
You saw it.
Yes,
That's
of
your
course.
excuse. My excuse was I was trapped on a plane and it was on.
Good reason.
So I had to watch it.
But Katy
I would
Perry
watch
is a cutie patootie as far as I'm
she is,
concerned.
but if you see that thing, you know she worked hard.
No,
for
she's
a
no
long
joke.
time, and she was and talented. So
Hey,
so just
nobody's
backing up your point.
attacking you. Or you like Katy Perry. You're allowed to like her.
I also like Nicki Minaj. I get a lot of shit for that.
Yeah,
she's a little crazy.
Don't be a hater.
No, she's crazy.
She's crazy.
She's got crazy in her eyes.
Yeah, she does. That part I don't like.
Yeah, like
I just kind of like her some of her songs, and I like that booty.
And by the way, to wrap this up, speaking of music, big announcement. Maybe we talked about it earlier, so it's not a big announcement. But we will have Martha Quinn on our podcast. I think it's our first
remember her?
take me
person.
back.
Yeah.
MTV.
That's right. The original VG.
You don't get any more generation-y than
Old
Martha
school.
Quinn.
Yes. I shouldn't say old school. That's terrible.
No,
Because I'm
yeah.
old school. I mean,
But you
by
don't
definition.
get Martha Quinn defines a generation,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
and she will be on the podcast.
Looking forward to that one.
I just emailed her. We don't do that enough. You ever see like Jay Moore and all those guys are constantly tweeting people going, be on my podcast, be on my podcast.
we
And
don't
I always
do a
see
lot
that
of
and
that.
go, that's lame.
Reach out more.
We should reach out more to people.
Let me just say this. You never know how they're going to respond unless you ask. You're
Right.
giving them the opportunity to say no, but you're also giving them the opportunity to say yeah.
Right.
That you would have never. Oh, I'm not going to
You
ask
won't
them. They
know.
wouldn't say yes.
Yeah. You won't.
You never know.
You try.
How much do you want to lie, though, when we ask people? Because with Martha Quinn, I might have slightly swayed our numbers. So if we get people on and we got them on through a lie, do we feel bad about it, or do you want to make a decision now that whatever, once they're on, they're on? Let's just decide. Let's just have to be the group think for as we move forward. If you're okay with me saying we have about 500,000 listeners an episode,
Yeah. All you got to do is tell them that we're ranked number one.
We need to
World
do that
Podcast
website.
Federation,
Okay.
or World Ranking Association.
we're not lying.
And that's and what is that association
Those are
It's
two,
very, very-
two associations
that you created?
that we
you made up?
made up,
That we made
and
up.
gave ourselves the number one title.
Yeah.
Amazing.
And we bought the URLs too. We're going to make.
We need
a
to make the
real
website. We want to make the website to make it official.
It sounds official.
And we're going to use stock footage.
Yeah.
It's going to be good.
It sounds
And
official.
we'll be number one, and then we'll have other podcasts that we are fans of that will be 2, 3, 4, 5.
When I heard this, because I was driving up north, I was on a road trip for a while, and so I was listening to your podcast for
Right.
the first time.
Nice.
And I was like, wow, this sounds very official. This sounds like they didn't mess around with the drops and the
Not a lot of people know
intros
this,
and-
but the
that's all
Performance
happening right there.
Enhanced test us randomly. The
What?
Podcast Association.
they test randomly.
Yeah, they're like, we don't know. They could not come to their show up, and me and Reap will have to pee in a cup.
I was just going to say.
And they'll
I
test
see.
if
Yeah,
for roids, and then if not, we can't podcast for 6 months.
That's right.
We don't
What?
know.
The
We've been
Lance
blood
Armstrong
tested.
is right out.
if you're not podcasting, you mean? Or if you're.
We can get kicked out for steroids. That's how tough it is to be number one in this podcast ranking association.
Drug free is what
Yeah.
we're saying.
Got
Other
it.
podcasts might be cheating with.
I'm not doing it
performance
drug-free.
enhancing drugs.
Yeah, not us.
Not
Okay.
us.
But your guests can be on
Oh, they're
drugs.
the-
Okay,
they're
got
the
it.
guests.
Okay,
Oh,
good.
you're fine. You're fine.
All right, everybody, that's been another episode. Don't forget, January 17th through 20th, I'll be at the Columbus, Ohio Funny Bone. 24th through 26th, I'll be in Erie, Pennsylvania, not bragging. February 2nd, Charlotte. February 14th through the 17th, Toledo, Funny Bone. John Reep.
I will be in Denver the 9th through 12th of January at the Comedy Works South. 17th through 19th, Dallas Hyenas Comedy Club. 24th through 26th, Jacksonville, Florida Comedy Zone. Please do not throw a drink in my face.
And as always, you can see where we're performing live at heffronandreep.com. And also go there and check out the little voicemail thing. Click a button, say hello to us, leave iTunes messages. Make us feel like this is worth it. We need you to validate us.
Please and thank you. Bicycle.
Since you love the Heffron and Reep show, please go to iTunes and let them know. Rank the show and leave a comment. We don't care what you write, you know. They Heffron and Reep have low self-esteem. So please validate them by ranking them and making them seen. So no matter what you do, rank Heffron and Reep on iTunes.